Well, hey there. How are you? Is that okay, so I got my glasses on. Let me adjust the screen. Is that LEK and Christina? Hi there. How are you? Thank you for joining me tonight. How are you? Hi, Miss Christina. Is that Radiant Jewels by Rio? Oh, that's so pretty. Hi there. How are you? Nice to see you. Okay, let's look here. Look at my little screen. All right, there we go. How are you guys doing this evening? Thank you so much for joining me. All right, let's minimize this a little bit. There we go. We're just waiting for folks to come in, How are you guys doing? Oh, thank you. Hey, Just Be Real. Leave me alone, Just Be Real. I didn't know you were that funny. You're funny. I did not know you were that humorous. Thank you. Oh, you're a mentee in Telsha's group? Oh, awesome. She's a phenomenal woman, an awesome mentor. Aw, thank you so much. And we think so highly of Telsha. That is our family. That's my big little sister. Ask her what big little sister means one time. That's my big little sister. But we love us some Telsha, because that's our zoologist. We love us some Telsha. I love me some Telsha. You guys welcome. Thank you so much for here. You have an awesome mentor, Christina. She's an awesome mentor. She gonna tell it like it is. So she's very straightforward. She gonna tell it like it is. You're in safe hands. Hi there. Is it Cheryl Perry? How are you doing? You see me? Okay, good. Thank you so much. Got to be prepared because they're gonna come in tonight. I promise you. You and her are petite. Oh, so you're tiny too, huh? Yeah. I found out just how tiny she was. Ask her about it. I found out just how tiny she was. And then I had the nerve to have on some heels. And she is hilarious. She is funny. What you see is what you get. Powerful woman. And that's our girl. Make sure you join us on Tuesdays too, when my mom has the clubhouse room. You get to hear her and Tasha. Who else is on there? There's Apostle, Helen Sadler, myself, Tasha, Telsha, Bishop Kathy Gibson, Cluster Be Free. We have some more people up there now. So it's powerful. It's a powerful room. So you make sure that you come on Tuesdays at 7:45 Pacific Standard Time on Clubhouse, and you get to hear us all on the platform with my mom. And so I know you enjoy yourselves. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you share. Make sure you share. Oh, thank you, Miss Cheryl. I appreciate you. I'm so honored. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'll make sure that I provide the best information I can. Are you a therapist, Miss Cheryl? Are you a therapist? Thank you guys so much for being here. Let me see if I hit this little lightning thing. Oh, it lightened up. Look at there. My screen lightened up. Hopefully, that's not too light, is it? Just Be Real. That screen's not too light over here, is it? Is it blurry? Well, it might be my glasses. Oh, it lightened up over here. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. It just takes a few minutes for people to come in. We get ourselves started. I need to join Clubhouse for sure. All of you strong ladies are helping us thrive and heal. I want to be like you ladies. Oh, you already are. I look good. I look okay on here. Okay. I know on the other one, which is the Facebook one, I turned on the lightning thing on my telephone, so it may have lightened up, but it looks a little blurry. So I'm not sure. Just Be Real. Yeah, you come over there and join us, Cheryl. I mean, not Cheryl. I'm sorry, Christina. You come over there and join us, Christina. You will enjoy yourself over there. Hey, Sean, how are you? Thank you guys so much for joining. So please forgive me. I had a long day. Excuse me, I had a long day, so I'm gonna try not to be disrespectful and keep yawning. I'm gonna try my best not to, and I appreciate you guys. So I've been gone since December, and so I'm coming back on my first live. So I got to get my momentum going again. Because coming on late in the evening, especially on Sundays, a lot of people are asleep. But coming in, I got to catch I got to pick up on my momentum. Oh, do I need to turn down the light, just be real on Facebook? Do I need to turn the that light down some? Let me turn the light back down. Is that better? I'm not sure. Let me see. Is that better, just be real? 'Cause I know it's like light over there. Oh, thank you so much. Who's that? Damari Rivera. Guerreras Nations. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. And I'll just get to talking so that, I don't want to hold anybody up. Okay, thank you. I know I turned on the little bright light over there, and I guess it made me super bright. So, but thank you guys so much for being here. I know there are a lot of people, I haven't been on for a while, so my algorithms have to pick up again. Because normally by the time I come on, people start coming in. And so some people haven't seen me since December. So my algorithms they got to catch up with themselves. And of course, me, I got to catch up with my momentum being in the evening. So first of all, allow me to say thank you guys so much for being here. And thank you guys so much for being interested in the topic. Well, let's get started. So my title, excuse me. Okay, I'm going to drink some water first. Okay, let me wet my whistle. Hold on just a minute. All right. So tonight I'm going to be talking about, oh, thank you so much. Who's that? Arenbach. Hopefully I said that right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You said my name perfect. Guerreras means warriors in Spanish. Go ahead. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, warrior. All right. Well, let's go ahead. So we're going to be talking about narcissists, strategic. I probably misspelled it on one of them. It's supposed to be apostrophe S. Narcissist, strategic chaos, number one, and then designed for self-destruction. All right. And so for a lot of you, you may be, and first of all, let me say this. For many of you guys that are coming on, some of you may be coming on to watch the replay. Some of you guys are already live. Some of you may be coming on to watch the replay. And I always say this, and I don't say this to demean or to embarrass anybody, because a lot of times people give me salutations and say hello, but they don't realize that it's a replay. And so it is 8, and I apologize for my tardiness. Please forgive me. I had to charge my phones, but I had to, let's look. It is it's about 8:54. So it's about 8:54 Pacific Standard Time. And so if you're not on Sunday, which is February 16th at 8:54 Pacific Standard Time, that means that you're watching the replay. That means if you don't like me saying hello to everybody, just tap it and fast forward some, okay? So, but let's go ahead and get started, okay? And that's not to embarrass anybody or hurt anybody's feelings. I know a lot of times people are speaking to me and they're upset at the fact that I'm not speaking back is because of the fact that I'm usually, you're probably on the replay. So we're going to be talking about narcissist strategic chaos designed for self-destruction. Now, one thing we're going to have to do in this time of season, one thing we have to do is we're going to have to go back to the basics. A lot of us have to go back to the basics of what we have learned about narcissists. And you can apply that because a lot of times we kind of focus on personal relationships, intimate relationships, parental relationships, sibling relationships, but a lot of times we don't talk about it on the level of like a boss, political figures. We don't talk about it on the level of, people outside of your intimate circle. And a lot of times, and of course, I don't come on here and I don't point my fingers or anything, because I allow you to take that information and apply it to, apply it to your situation. And to think, in the workplace, but I give you basic information and you take that information and you apply it to your situation, because a lot of you are in different types of situation. There's some people that said that I have not, I've never been in an intimate relationship with a narcissist, but you have been in a workplace, like you were saying, in a workplace, or leadership, people in leadership, right? And so we have to go back to the basics that we've learned about narcissists. And when we talk about strategic chaos, we call them a chaos strategist. And the purpose of the chaos strategist is to create it is to create chaos, to make you feel off kiltered, to make you feel like nothing will ever come back in place. When the dust settles, what do you get once the dust settles? And one of the things that I talk about a lot, and we'll just use this as an example, and you could take this and apply it on a bigger scale. We all know that narcissists are very, very into themselves, and that's it. They don't care about no one else. But whenever they want something, they love bomb. Whether they love bomb you in an intimate relationship, whether they love bomb you when it comes to a workspace, a workplace, leadership, in leadership positions, they love bomb you. Love bombing doesn't always look it. The basic concept of it is the same, but it doesn't always look the same as the way you would think in a romantic relationship. Because in a romantic relationship, when they idealize you, of course, I love you. Oh my gosh, you're beautiful, you're handsome, and they give you all these kudos. They boost your esteem up, but it's like it's an overflood of emotions. They give you an overflood of emotions. Well, even in leadership positions, a lot of times they overflood your emotions. Thank you so much. They overflow your emotions, and it could be positive or negative, but they overflow those emotions. They bombard. It's like they emotionally hijack you. That's what they do. Now, when we start talking about a chaos strategist, which a narcissist is a chaos strategist, that term is also used in the military. And so I'm going to say a few things to give you an idea. But right before I say that, let me say this. A lot of you may have, been married to a narcissist, had children by a narcissist, whatever the case may be. And by the time you leave out of that relationship, by the time either they discard you or you discard them, you notice that they move on very quickly. Number one, you've caused a narcissistic injury. And a lot of you think to yourself, like, how did I cause a narcissist injury when he or she left me? But the point is that you may not have given them the reaction that they wanted. You didn't fall out on the floor, kicking your feet. You kind of took it in and you're like, I'm gonna grieve and mourn in privacy. But they don't know what you have done. The only way that they know that you're grieving or crying is when they listen to the words that come out of your mouth. They have to listen to see where you're at, and it's gonna make sense as I keep talking, okay? And then a lot of them, they move on very quickly to the next prey. Put it that way. They move on quickly to the next prey. And then you notice, a lot of you have said, I noticed that, they're on Facebook, they're on social media, and they look so happy. They look happy. They look like they're living life. They look like they're doing all these wonderful things, but you don't understand that's a smokescreen, because that narcissist is not going to change. They get worse with time. And only difference is that they changed prey. You were one person, and then this person is a totally different person. You have your hurts and wounds, but this person has their hurts and wounds. You work in a particular occupation or career field, and this person works in a different career field. You have a different, like someone said, vibe about yourself. Well, that person has a different vibe about themselves. And what they do is they readjust themselves to that particular person that they're with at that particular time. And so when you are watching them on social media, they're going to give you what they want you to see. They want to manipulate what you see, and they want to manipulate what you hear in order to get you in the mindset that, they wouldn't even change for me. Because guess what you start doing? You start beating yourself up, wondering what's wrong with me. Why didn't he or she treat me that way? All the things that I've ever complained about, why are they doing it with this new supply? And they're showing it, and they're going on trips. They never took me on trips. They never bought me this right here. They never, thank you so much, Lawanda. Hey, Lawanda, how you doing, girl? But they never took me on these particular trips. They never took me on vacation. They never took me out to dinner, or never took me to these type of restaurants. They never bought me these type of things, right? But everything that you complained about is what they use as a tool to lock in the next supply. So everything that you complained about and that you wanted so desperately, and they saw that you were hurting so bad, they took that information and then they put it on that next supply because they got to lock that next supply down. So everything that you said, you just trained them. You just trained them on what to do on that next supply, right? On that next supply. And that is what they use as an anchor to try to lock in that new supply. But while they are on social media, while they are in public, the thing about it is they present a certain, it's a smoke screen. They present a certain thing. They use social media or media. They use social media to display or to show what they want to display or want to show, so that they can move your emotions, whether it's to inflict more pain, whether it's to inflict fear, but they use that because they dominate that, because that is what they're allowing you to see. But in the background, what you don't realize is they're still weak, they're still afraid, they're still the same person that they were and worse when they left you or you left them. But they have to, it's all about image. I have to make it look a certain way, and I have to look powerful in front of you guys that are watching the page. In front of you, when I say you guys, I mean whoever it is that you broke up with, or whoever it is that you disconnected with, or whomever. So they have to present themselves a certain way. And by you looking at them a certain way, a lot of times if you notice, say, oh, couple goals, I want to be like that couple, but you don't know behind closed doors, they're living in pure hell, right? So let's go into this right here. And this is some information that comes from military. Those of you that know that I have served in the military, are certain things that we have learned, certain things that I learned with time, and certain things I'm going to introduce you to. Some of you know this because you probably have read it and watched television, but that term smokescreen. And smokescreen in this situation, is a use of social media or media to focus your mind and your emotion, but it hides what is truly happening in the background. And so it's a smokescreen to cover up what is actually happening in the background. Now, the military uses smoke screens because when you use a smoke screen, it hides what's going on in the background while the military is moving vehicles, moving troops. Troops are running, getting in place. They're doing a bunch of things. So imagine if I do this the whole time. If I do this in the camera, you have no idea what's going on behind my hands, right? Well, that's what a smoke screen is like. A smoke screen is to get your focus on this right here. So you're focused on my hands, you're focused on this, but you have no idea what's going on in the background. Military uses that strategy. They bring up a smoke screen so they can move troops, they can move vehicles, they can get into positions to prepare for the attack. And most people are focused on the smoke screen. And so a narcissist is very similar to that. They use social media, or they use what people can see as a smoke screen to cover up what's going on in the background. And what's going on in the background usually is two things. They're weak, they're afraid, they're very self-conscious, they're very jealous, and on top of that, whoever they're connected to, whenever you see them, what you don't realize is they're the exact same way they were with you, but they're not going to show you that. They're going to put on the facade. The next thing, a chaos strategist, we call the narcissist a chaos strategist, and there is something that's called is chaos theory. I think it's called chaos theory. I don't know if I wrote it in here. It's the theory of chaos, or chaos theory. A lot of time that's used in wartime, but and they call it a chaos strategist. So we're going to call the narcissist a chaos strategist. And a chaos strategist, they target vulnerabilities, but they have to find out what the vulnerabilities are, because they always want to remain dominant. They always want to remain in control. They always want to remain on top. And even when they're not remaining on top, they're always going to show, or they're always going to display them being on top. Let me explain something real quick. I'm going to give you an example really quick. My grandmother was German. She's deceased now. My grandfather, German. He was a German soldier. He was in the German military during World War II era. This was during the time that Hitler had taken over all of the military. And he had those, my grandfather was in the German military. So the German military, which was fighting the out in the front didn't know what was going on the inside. On the inside, that's where the Gestapo and the special military that Hitler had put together, and they were doing things in behind the scenes, which most of you guys know the genocide that was happening, you know. But keep in mind, you know, they're fighting out on the front, so everyone is focused on what was going on in the front. They didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. You know, it's like the smoke screen. They got the war going on, but there's stuff going on, you know, on the inside. And I remember my grandmother telling me a lot of you guys can watch the documentaries that show that there was a lot of propaganda being used. You know, there was at the time they didn't have social media. They had radio and they had television or newspapers. And what they would do is Hitler would do is he would make it always look like they were always winning and getting ahead, winning and getting ahead. Even when they were losing, and it was getting close to America coming in and Great Britain coming in and a lot of those other allied countries that were coming in, you know, the radio, the television, and the newspaper. My grandmother was telling me, she says, we didn't know what was going on. All we knew was what the radio was telling us or what the newspaper was telling us. She said, I didn't know what was going on. She didn't know anything of the genocide. And when the American soldiers came, a lot of the Allied troops came, what they would do is they took the German people and walked them through the concentration camps because some of them did not honestly know what was going on. My grandmother, who was not close to a concentration camp, what they made them do was they made them go into the basements and they would run the films because they would record. And so they would force them to sit there and watch the films and show them what was going on. And for years, my grandmother, I think she had PTSD, but she was really affected by what she had seen. And she used to cry. When she told me the story, she used to cry all the time because she says, I didn't know that's what they were doing. That's not the information that they provided to us. Well, a narcissist is the exact same way. They do things up front to keep you from knowing what's going on in the background, right? Thank you so much. But they create smoke screens or they create chaos so that you're focused on this right here where you don't know what's going on in the background, right? And so let me move on. But I just want to give you an example of what narcissists will do. You know, the length that they will go through or go through even in an event where they're not, you know, a narcissist is not getting ahead of you. I'll give you let me give you another example before I move to the next topic. But for some of you have been to court with narcissists, right? And a narcissist, when they get into the courtroom becomes their stage. And so when they get into a courtroom and that courtroom becomes their stage, you hear things about yourself that you're almost shocked because you're wondering, where did this come from? Like who, you know, they're talking about you and you're looking around like, who are they talking about? You know, all of a sudden you hear that you're this horrible father. You're hearing that you're this horrible mother. You know, they went to court and told the judge that your child is starving. You know, that you don't have any clothes. Look how this person is looking, and my child looks raggedy, and they're starving, and whatever. You know, so they present that, you know, this is their stage. Another thing that they'll do is they'll and that's why here in the state of Washington it's called abusive litigation, and there is paperwork that you can file to prevent abusive litigation. Abusive litigation, and each state has a different term for it. And what they'll do is they'll like file a court. So you're in a particular district, you know, so they'll file a motion here in this court, they'll go take it to this court, and then you're missing all these different court dates because of the fact that they're not in your jurisdiction. They may do things when they get in there, and all of a sudden, you know, their whole goal is to take your kids from you, right? But the thing is that they don't have any proof of you doing anything bad. They get little things to try to prove, but their whole goal is to get the kids. It's not because they care for the kids. It's not that they care for these children. But what it is they want to hurt you even the more. So the whole underlying game is I'm going to stab you in your heart because I can control you. I can control you. If I can get custody of these kids, I will have more control. You'll do what I want you to do, and you'll do it the way I want you to do it, because that's a vulnerability. See, they look at love as a vulnerability. They look at love as a weakness. So I'll get these kids so that I can maintain control over you, and I will hurt your heart. I'll get them to not talk to you just so I can pay you back. And there's nothing to pay them back. You know, there's no, you live in life, and so they're mad because you're living life and you're not paying them any attention. But they'll use the courtroom, you know, to their advantage. And if, especially if they have money, they'll send a court order, and you know, they'll send something here to this court, this here to court. So you're missing. And what they try to do is they try to drain you of your money. They try to drain you of your money so that you can't fight them in court. And the thing is that when you are so hyped and you're so afraid that they may take your kids, and you're so afraid, you start making mistakes. You start making mistakes, you start talking too much, then you start looking at these little fires that you're putting out. You're putting out these little fires, but you're missing the entire, you know, you're missing the entire point of what they're trying to do. They're trying to pay you back. You know, but you're trying to put out these little fires. So you're fighting with them over, that's not true, I do feed my kids. That's not true, I don't neglect my kids. That's not true. Would you write a paper? I mean, would you write something saying that you see me taking care of my? That's not true. And the whole goal is to pay you back, is to get you to say some things to make you look crazy, because you're playing into their hands. So they've already said stuff about you, and they're antagonizing you. That's why Dr. Romney calls the narcissists or disordered people the antagonists. They're antagonizing you, and you know, and you're trying to put out these little fires instead of just sit back and think for a minute and respond and don't react. Because they're betting on your reaction, not your response. Your response requires thought. Your reaction is knee jerk. You know, it's right away. It's impulse. You know, impulse to slap you back if you swing at me. You know, but the thing is it's impulse, and so responses require you to stop and think. And one thing a narcissist does not want you to do is, if they're doing too much at one time, they never want you to stop, pull back, let me think, and let me strategize. Because a chaotic strategist, or a chaos strategist like a narcissist, they strategize. So we're going to get to it. So they target your vulnerabilities. So that means, let's look. And one of the biggest things is, let's look. Let me go through my notes. Let's see. And I'll give you this example. This is the example we're going to use. During Desert Storm, which, you know, the military was fighting Iraq, and during the OIF, which is Afghanistan, you know, the one thing that they found out was that the military was very strong. So they had to target other things. So they would fight and create chaos without trying to agitate the military and getting the military involved. And what they do is they manipulate scenarios to the best of their advantage while avoiding military forces. And that's what a chaos strategist. And they find ways to attack without actually attacking. And for what they do is they find the weaknesses. What are the weaknesses to attack? Family, and in this case, narcissist, family, finances. They attack you in the courts, especially if they have money. You know, they attack you in the court systems. And I did a video before, and it's called Flooding the Zone. Flooding the zone means that they create all this chaos, you know, and have people running everywhere and unstable, creating all this chaos, flooding the court system with all these court documents and stuff, because it breaks the focus and have you focused on this thing right here while they're trying to do this right here. Because if I can get you focused over here, if I can, you know, that's like an illusionist. I get you to focus on my right hand while my left hand is taking stuff from you, and you don't realize that I'm taking this from you because I got you. This is the distraction. I got you focused on the distraction, so you don't know what's going on in the background. And so, like I said, just like just like during the Desert Storm and during OIF and the military, you know, the one thing that they had learned is that they weren't going directly after the military. What they would go after is things that were vulnerable, you know. And in this situation with the narcissist, is family, finances, you know, well-being, courts, anything they can do to destabilize you, put it that way, anything that they can do to destabilize you. And so the one thing that they try to do is they try to convince people. A narcissist will always try to convince people that there's no solution, there's no end state meaning closure, or in the military, it means successful completion of a final phase of military operation. You know, you got Operation Iraqi Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Desert Storm. So these were all operations, but they had to conclude and come to an end. Well, a narcissist or a chaos strategist, they always convince people. And a lot of times, what do they use? They use your five senses. What do you hear? What are they saying? What do you see? You know, well, those are the biggest ones. What do you see? What do you hear? And how can I influence your emotions? Because if I can invoke your emotions, if I can cause fear, then I have control. But I will get you to a point where the things that I'm doing to you makes you feel that learned helplessness. And remember, I've talked about that before. The when those researchers did the learned helpless, the it's the learned helplessness. It was a research with the dogs in the cage, and it was the electric cages underneath. And they had the cages open, so whenever they shocked the dog was able to escape and jump out of the cage, until they took the cage and closed the cage so the dog would fight to try to get out, but he couldn't get out. So eventually he learned to be hopeless, and he realized that I can't get out of the cage. I'm just going to have to accept my fate. And so even when they removed the cage and they would shock the dog had just learned that there is no solution to my problem. There is no escape from this, and I just have to accept it, even though there was a way to get out of it. Well, that's what a narcissist tries to do. They try to inflict enough chaos, wounds or injuries or insults. You know, they stimulate what you're thinking by what you see and what you hear to get you off course, to get you fearful, to make you feel like, you know, eventually you'll stop fighting because there's no solution, there's no end state, there's no closure, or there's no successful closure, you know, of whatever's going on. And there is no objective. And so other than endless chaos. So they make you believe that there's always going to be chaos. But you guys do know that everything, if you guys were watching Apostle, if you guys were on church service today, that's one of the things that she was talking about. And you know, that was one of the things she was talking about in the service, that everything has a season. You have seasons inside of a season, but everything has a season. So that means everything does come to a head. Everything does come to a conclusion, and it goes into another season. And a lot of times with that narcissist, a narcissist know they're in a time crunch. You know, there's only so much they can do for so long until people start figuring out that you're weaker than what you display. You're not as strong as you present yourself, and you're not as scary as you present yourself to the person that you're attacking. And so they know that they're on a time limit. They're on a time zone. You know, there is a season, and they're trying to utilize and maximize and dominate that season to make you afraid. And so they always make you feel like this chaos will never end, so that when that season has ended, you're still in that cycle of learned helplessness. So now this is my conclusion, okay? But there are 5 principles. If you guys look up chaos theory, but and chaos systems, there are 5 principles. But I'm gonna talk about 2 of those principles, so that you can apply it to your everyday life. And like I said, a lot of people are asking me a lot of questions, and I give you a lot of information, and sometimes that may apply, because the narcissist, you know, a narcissist is a narcissist. Narcissistic personality disorder. They have patterns that they follow. If you watch their patterns, you can pick up on patterns. You can pick up on these patterns. We can't call everybody a narcissist, because everybody is not a narcissist. Some people they're dysfunctional, and yes, they have narcissistic traits, but that does not make them a narcissist. But there are 5 principles, and I'm gonna talk about 2, like I said. There is something that's called chaos systems. And systems means these are a group of things that work together. They work together. Or it isn't, systems are also like an organized scheme, right? And think about with a narcissist, who all works along with a narcissist to strengthen the narcissist. usually flying monkeys. The narcissist finds people that are weak, or very similar to themselves, but they have to be the dominant, and they find people that will be loyal to them, and there's something that they can get from those people. Likewise, a lot of flying monkeys also find something that they can get out of that narcissist. So it's a two-way manipulation a lot of times. Now, sometimes people become flying monkeys unknowingly, are flying monkeys, don't realize that they're flying monkeys. But oftentimes that narcissist is looking for something to get, I want your loyalty, and I'll love bomb you, I'll breadcrumb you, and I'll future fake you, and all the things and all the power that I give you. Likewise, the flying monkey is looking at the narcissist as, I can get something from you. I can feel important. I can feel relevant. Think about it. And so here you have these flying monkeys, but the flying monkeys are all a part of the scheme, are all a part of the system with that when it comes to the chaos that narcissist creates, right? And the narcissist will use fear. They will use trauma, or they'll use hostility, or they'll use physical violence or threaten violence. They have unalive people. So a narcissist will go to the extremes because they know they have a limited time. They have a limited time to try to get as much control as they possibly can. Everything has a season. Okay. So now the two things so you guys can go look it up too. The five principles are, hold on, let me look. Patterns, self-similarity, feedback loops, self-organization, interconnectedness. I said that? So it's, okay, interconnectedness, patterns, self-similarities, feedback loop, and self-organization. But I want to talk about two of them for a minute. When we're talking about patterns, narcissists have patterns, and they have underlying patterns. A lot of times it's not immediately obvious, but they all have patterns. They run out for patterns. A narcissist usually does not come up with things themselves. They have to get feedback from other people, and so they'll know what direction to go. But they're usually not self-thinkers. They're manipulators, but they usually get information from other people, and they add it to their little repertoire of information, and they have patterns. There's certain patterns that they have. They're not going to overthink. I mean, they'll overthink, but they're not going to get out of those patterns if those patterns are working. The only times they'll break a pattern is to go to and try another pattern if that pattern is not working or no longer working. And then they'll break that pattern to create another pattern. But they all have underlying patterns. And the second thing I want to say is feedback loops. Constant feedback loops. Narcissists look for constant feedback loops. So feedback loops are outputs that feed back into the system to influence future behavior. So let me say this. Response versus reaction. They're looking for reaction. How you react gives input as to whether to continue that pattern or to continue what they're doing to get the reaction from you, or to try something else. When you take your time and you're responding, or you step back and stop being fearful, they start paying attention that, okay, because they remember the feedback loop. You're giving them feedback. You're letting them know if this is working or not. You're letting them know based off of the fear, off of what you're saying, off of how you're reacting. You're not responding to them, you're reacting. So when you're speaking, you're reacting. And as long as they see that there's a fear factor there, they know that they have dominance. They know that they have control over your emotions. But when you step back and you're not quick to say anything, and you observe quicker, and then you respond, you don't let them, because they move quick. They move quick, they talk fast. Have you ever been on a car lot? I know we use this all the time. I feel sorry for a lot of the car dealers, but you've been to a car lot, a lot of times they're fast talkers. You'll look good in this car. What are you looking for? You looking for a sports car? You look good in a sports car. Ooh, let me show you some of these luxury cars that we have right now. So they try to figure out what you talking about. If you're looking at, I want something that makes me look good. I want some, if they notice you kind of bougie, or you kind of, they try to feel you out. They try to see, and then, they're listening to what you're saying. If you're, and I'm using this as a reference to a narcissist. If they notice you're a little arrogant or you're a little prideful and everything, they use that as a feedback. So how can I feed into your pride? How can I feed into that vanity? And that's how I'm going to pull you. That's what I'm going to do. And so I'll know to you, or if you come in there, you're looking for a car and I just want to be cute. I want to be in a cute car. They already know. Now, once we get your eyes locked on something, okay, I got some luxury cars over here. I got this. They already know. They already know that you're looking at this and this is a lemon, or they're following you around. They're trying to pick up on you. And then they fast talk. You look good in this car. Your friend's going to like you in this car. They're going to, why are you pushing me so quick to get this car? Why are you why are you talking so fast? Why are you trying to push me for this car right here? No, I'm just saying, that's seems like that's what you like. That's what you like. That's what you look good in and everything. But they fast talk because they try to lock you in. Because once they lock you in, once you bite, it's hard for you to release out of that bite. Once you lock into that loan, it's hard for you to get rid of it because they made their money. They made their money. So they got what they wanted after that. They really don't call you back. They really don't, they don't do anything. They don't do anything for you or with you or anything. That's why they got lemon laws, But that's the exact same way that the narcissist operates. They fast, they quick. Once you pick up on one pattern, they change the pattern up. Once you pick up on that pattern, they change the pattern up. Because one thing that a narcissist never wants you to know is how weak they truly are. You have people that are in positions of power. You have people that are in positions of influence. But guess who keeps them, powerful like that? Especially with narcissists, who keeps them powerful like that is the flying monkeys they surround themselves with. Those that are just as crooked as they are. So hopefully you have learned something tonight. I know that was a lot of information. I wanted to put some information out there because I had people asking questions, and I wanted you I wanted you to get more information to understand, everything when it comes to a narcissist is not always a personal, romantic or intimate relationship. A lot of you guys experience this in your workplace. A lot of you experience this with narcissistic leadership, and you have to understand the basics of what is going on. From there, with that information that you have, should give you an idea, and the rest of the video on the title is designed for self-destruction. So either they're going to self-destruct or you're going to self-destruct, because they're going to keep you unkiltered. They're going to keep you unbalanced. They're going to keep you in a consistent state of panic and fear. And really, when you slow things down and you back up, you begin to realize that they're not as powerful as you think they are. A lot of times it's the flying monkeys that surround them that make them more powerful than they are. But the flying monkeys are just as weak as the person that is abusing or misusing you. And when you see those smoke screens and you're looking at their social media, which you need to go ahead and you need to back up and get away from the social media a lot of times, because in that social media, they're always going to hype themselves up and make it look better than what it really is. But the one thing that I can tell you, especially when those get with new supplies, and like I said, it's not always a romantic relationship. Sometimes it's business, sometimes it's leadership, sometimes the bosses, it goes beyond intimate and personal relationship. But a lot of you got to get off of social media because you're watching an illusion. You are watching an illusion. It's not real. It's not realistic, and they are presenting the information that they want you to see and they want you to hear. And if you don't, and if what they're presenting doesn't comply, or we'll just say if people want to tell the truth, they'll cut those people off. If people don't want to tell the truth, they'll do whatever they possibly can to discredit those people that tell the truth. And especially you. You start telling the truth, they do whatever they can to discredit you. But it started a long time ago. They do whatever they can to discredit you. So now, as a narcissist chaos strategist or a strategic chaos, they implement strategic chaos, but there's a method to their madness. They are chaos strategists, but there's a method to their madness. You may feel chaotic. You may feel like you're in a fog. You may feel like you're in a storm, but trust you me, it's them. And a lot of times they're projecting it on you because they're creating the chaos to keep you off kilter, to keep you confused. So y'all remember that. And let me just show you guys my book. This would be a perfect time for you guys to purchase my book. It's a quick read. It's very easy to read. It's very straight to the point, but it'll give you an idea of a narcissist and how they think. Hold on just a minute. Let me go grab the book, okay? This is my book. And, you know, based off of what we were just talking about today, you guys can go on Amazon and find this book. And they got it on sale now. But this book is called Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. Narcissist Abuse. Abused by the esteemed. This is a perfect book for this time of season. This is what my book looks like. I want you guys to go on Amazon, or you can go to Westbow Press. If you go to Westbow Press, there's the publisher right there. Westbow Press, right here. Go to Westbow Press and put over here in this camera. Uh-oh, make sure it's not too dark. Westbow Press. Or you can go to Amazon and purchase this book. It's a quick read. I think it has no more than, how many pages I got in my book? It's like 102 pages, but it's a quick read. Hold on. But look, it's a quick read. Double space and everything. Make it easy for you guys to read. But it's a quick read. It's a quick read. But this is a perfect book for this time in this season. Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. Abused by the esteemed. You guys go check out this book. You really want this book. And when you go get this book, just remember, hold on, let me tell you what the chapters say. So let me tell you about the chapters. Hold on a minute. Personality disorders, mental health issues, narcissism, telling the story, experience, some deep roots, years of turmoil, the wounded warrior, a need of repair, how valuable, red flags, value. So this book is something that you want to invest in. This is a book that you want to get into your library. Quick read, easy to read, but it'll give you an idea of where you may be or what you have experienced. It's just an introduction into what you may have been through. And this video right here, remember, when you're dealing with narcissists, even on a higher level, when I say higher level of leadership, higher level in the political arena, wherever, you got to remember, go back to the basics. Go back to the basics on how narcissists are. I've told you guys before, you got narcissists in every economic status. You have them on the severely poor, you know, what we call impoverished. You have those that are middle class. You have those that are filthy rich. You know, you have those that are educated. You have those that are not educated. You have those that are cerebral. They're thinkers, so they're very educated and they're very smart. They're very quick on their feet. You know, they're thinkers. They're cerebral. That's why I call cerebral. Then you have the somatic. The somatic is always got to be seen. They've always got to dress the best, drive the best, this surgery, this clothes, this car, these women, these men, you know, this plastic surgery, this enhancement, this augmentation. You know, they have got to be seen. They've got to be seen. They got to say things to make sure that everybody recognizes them. The more they talk, and that's on both the cerebral and the somatic, no matter what they talk about, the conversation is going to end up on me. It's going to end up back on me, you know, because it's all about me. They don't care about people. They don't care about, it's all about me. It's me. You see what I mean? So you guys remember, get this book. This is just an introduction. And then listen to this video again, because everything dealing with narcissists all starts with a foundation. If you understand, when you watch my videos, sometimes we're talking about relationship. Take those principles and those principles, add it to any situationship that you're in. And it all has similar patterns. Once you understand the pattern, what are you going to do to break the pattern? You know, what can you do to break the pattern? You know what I mean? So, y'all, that's it for tonight. That's all I have to say. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this evening. I know I came on a little late. My sincerest apologies. I didn't want to stay on really, really late because I'm tired, y'all. I got to get back. I got to get back into my rhythm. You know, I haven't been on in a while, so I got to get back into my rhythm. I got to pick up my momentum again. In the military, you know, I got to catch that second wind again. I haven't been here since December. I'm coming back, so just be prepared. I'll be coming back. You know, I didn't come last week because it was Super Bowl Sunday, so my apologies. Someone mentioned it to me. I kept thinking, I said, oh, they'll be out of the Super Bowl by the time I come home. I didn't recall that a lot of people have Super Bowl parties afterward and everything, so I did reschedule that. But please make sure you check out my YouTube channel. Make sure you check out my TikTok for as long as it's going to be up there. So check out my TikTok. I have Instagram. Ladies, I also have a private group. And gentlemen, it's for the ladies. I do have a private group. Just be real. Can you put my private group up there? But I do have a private group as well that you can join me. I do have a conference. Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate you. I do have a conference coming up in July. I need to talk to Telsha to make sure that that date, usually I do it the last Saturday of July. But because we're family, I always make sure I check in with my family. So I got to talk to Telsha to make sure that that day is still available for me, because I think she had something going on that day and I didn't want to interrupt her time, take away from her time. So I'm going to make sure I contact her to make sure that she doesn't have anything going on that day, so that I can do mine on the last Saturday of July. And so you guys stay tuned. I'll be sending out the flyers so you guys can start registering. It will be online. It will be on Zoom. And I will start registering for my conference in July. Also, you guys know that my mother has a conference coming up in Dallas. I was going to say Washington, in Dallas, Texas. We're all going to be traveling down to Dallas. Please, you got to come to Dallas. It was wonderful. Food was great. It was just the camaraderie was awesome. And keep in mind, you know, this is not a narcissist conference. Hers is not a narcissist conference. Her conference entails everything from your life. So a lot of you are trying to restart in business and careers and families and ministries and things like that. But you have a lot of us that are going to be speakers at that conference in Dallas, and it's usually the second week of August. Give me a minute. I'll find out from her the exact dates, and I will put up my registration information and her registration. Mine is going to be online on Zoom, and I have some awesome guest speakers. I'm a speaker, of course, and then I also have you. Thank you so much, Andrea. But I'm one of the speakers, of course, in my own conference. My mother's going to be there, Apostle Helen Sadler, my big sister, Bishop Kathy Gibson, my sister, Bridget Griffin. I brought on a new person. Her name is Demetria Tasha. We call her Tasha. Demetria Fields. She's an awesome young woman. She's a millennial. I mess with her all the time about being a millennial, because sometimes I can't recall that she is a millennial because she got an old soul. But she's a very powerful young woman that really understands young people. And my big sister, she really is good when it comes to getting to know yourself, getting to grow yourself. She's got books out. She's got Destiny Man, the things to look for. So a lot of you ladies that are waiting for a husband, Destiny Man, you know, the Destiny Man, something to look for, the traits to look for. Destiny Man, the traits to look for. She's got another one called Milk and Honey. She's got another one called The Essence of the Aristocratic Woman. Please get those books, and please make sure that you invest in this right here. Invest in this book right here. Easy, quick read. It's an easy, quick read. This is the book that you want to get. Easy, quick read. But it gives you an idea so that you won't feel like you're crazy. And like I said, I have a conference coming up. I do have, I keep saying it. I know you guys are wondering when. Let me get some of my business taken care of. But I do have a coaching institute that I'm getting ready to implement for those of you that are wanting to be coaches. Some of you guys are looking at your future. Some of you guys are in a job that you guys, some of you guys, I'm not going to say some of you guys have brilliant minds. You got skill sets that's making an employer millions of dollars. When you can take those skill sets, when you can take your mind and you can create your own business. My coaching institute is not just for people that are wanting to deal with narcissist abuse. My coaching institute is teaching you the basic principles of, number one, having a business, and number two, being a coach in any area that you want to be a coach. A lot of you guys are good with finances. You don't even realize how good you are with finances and helping people pay off their bills. You know, this is that time and season now where people need some strategy on paying off bills and bringing down their debt. Some of you guys are good when it comes to investments. You guys understand the stock markets. You guys understand investments. Some of you guys are good when it comes to children. Some of you guys are good when it comes to relationships. Some of you guys are just good in overall anything that you invested yourself in. Computer technology, helping people with resumes, helping people get jobs, helping people when it comes to being confident, helping people when it comes to dressing the part, doing your hair, you know, doing your makeup. A lot of you, you guys have so much talent, and someone is getting them, they're making money off of you when you can be making your own money. So my coaching institute is not just for those that are wanting to help people that are coming out of narcissist abuse. My coaching institute is going to teach you the basics when it comes to being a coach, and you're going to be a fascinating, powerful coach, because you'll know the principles of being a coach, and you'll understand the principles of a business, because coaching is a business. We have too many people out there calling themselves coaches. It's making us coaches look bad. So many people are out there calling themselves coaches, but they have no strategy. They have no plan. And believe you me, when people that have money to spend and are willing to spend on coaches, you know, they're looking for people, you know, it doesn't require you to be certified. You'll get certified through my institute, but you know, coaching doesn't require a certification. But now people, you know, they don't want to just pay just anybody to be a coach. They need to know that you have some type of strategy. You have some type of professionalism about yourself. And that's what they're looking for. And that's what I'm going to provide you. And I almost gave the name of my coaching business. I'm not going to give it to you guys yet, but I'm going to teach you guys some principles to live by, and I'm going to teach you guys some things about coaching, and then how to do your business, how to start your business, how to make it legitimate, a legitimate business that you can survive off of. We don't have to depend on the government. You can depend on yourself and create your own money, because this is that time and era of information, and you have it. You have it because people are needing to build them. People are waiting for you to come out. People are waiting for you to discover yourself, because you have the answer that they're looking for in all aspects of life. So thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you for spending your evening with me. I know it's late, you know. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm so appreciative that you guys came here. I know it was late. Please forgive me. I was trying to charge and just be real, is like the perfect administrator, because she was messing with me. I would tell y'all what she said, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it a secret. But I was charging my telephones for tonight. Thank you. I was charging my phones for tonight, and while I was charging the phones, I was taking down some notes. So that's why I was a little late, because I got in a little late, so I was taking notes. So I appreciate all of you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. I hope you guys sleep well. You guys go be great, and make sure you go check out my videos on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I was going to say Instagram, and it is Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Go please check out my channel. Make sure you also check out my mom, is Your Destiny Helper. You can find her on YouTube, and then you can also come on Facebook. If you don't have a church to go to, come right there on Into His Chambers Global Ministry on Facebook, and then follow her on Facebook. She does do, I think, on Wednesday nights, she does come on, she does a service, and then she does come on and she does a live concerning narcissist abuse, if you guys want to go and tune in. And it's Your Destiny Helper, which is also on Facebook. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. We did it, Joe. We did it. You're welcome. Back to you. And thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. You guys sleep well. And thank you, Joe, for being here. I know a lot of times we don't see a lot of the men on here. Thank you so much, Joe, for coming and supporting me. Thank you, guys. Hey, Misha, how are you? Good to see you, too. And Glam Channel. Uh-oh. All right, Glam Channel, what that mean? Because we like to glam ourselves up and stuff. We like to do that. So I'm going to have to go check you out. Well, thank you, guys. You guys have a wonderful evening. And good night, everybody.